Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing super duper well. For today's video, we're going to be building an English countryside estate turned into a bed and breakfast. So now let's get on with the build. Hey guys, so we're going to jump right into the build. As you can see, I have already made our shell. I think that for now on, whenever I'm doing these kind of videos, I'm just going to start with the shell. Honestly, because I feel like it can be a bit of a boring and tedious video for me to be filming myself building just counting the walls and whatnot. As you can see, I used the fencing from the Get Famous pack just to help lay out so we can go ahead and see like how this build is going to end up looking. So hopefully you guys agree and are okay with this and you like it. This way we can get to the meat and potatoes of the videos a little bit quicker. But anyways, in this video, we are going to be focusing on doing the wallpaper and the flooring for the exterior of our build. We are also going to be doing maybe some landscaping, we'll see. But this is probably gonna be at least a 3-parter video. I'm gonna see how it comes out, but yeah. So I'm starting off with just planning. We're just gonna start placing, I already placed the walls, so we just can place some fencing. I'm looking for this one. I think I want this one. I kind of like color coded like what's going where, so that's why you saw me doing it like that. Back here is going to be there's like a private little like pleasure garden. This yellow fencing here, we're going to be using this one from the cottage living kit pack. It's a pack, not kit. It's like a little like herb or vegetable garden. I just wanted to give them something small and a bit more practical. And then over here we're going to be using the horse ranch one. I'm trying to pick out the proper color. I think it's this one. I'll change it later if it's not, but it's okay. But yeah, how's everybody doing? I hope you're doing awesome. We hit 99 subscribers this morning. It's morning for me right now at the time of filming this, so I'm really excited. Maybe I'll do the live stream for this build and we can do some landscaping together and hang out and stuff. Maybe that'll be fun. We'll see. My husband, he is off from work right now, so we've been hanging out and stuff, but I feel really guilty filming when he's here. So I've been like waiting for him to like go see his parents or whatever, just because I don't know, I feel bad being like, hey, love ya, but you have to go in this room and be quiet. I feel so guilty doing it. I just don't like, okay, it's like you will have a mailbox. Sorry guys, that weirded me out that the mailbox like disappeared and then reappeared over there. But yeah, it's something I need to work on because I've talked to him about it like a bajillion times and he always tells me like I don't mind, Lexi, like it's fine, like I can go and sit and quietly in the other room or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so we have a bit more of a plan here. Let's see. Maybe we'll do a little bit of terrain painting so that we can see better like what's gonna go where. So I want to use stone. I think I want to use this one. Honestly, don't see the difference between the two, but we can pretend there's a difference. So a lot of this is going to be the stone because I want it to be like an English estate. So I'm planning for this to be like an old like an English estate kind of that was converted into a bed and breakfast. So yes, I'm doing another bed and breakfast because I did the coastal bed and breakfast and honestly I loved building that so much. It was such a vibe. Some of this areas are going to be dirt, but we're just gonna go ahead and fill it in with the pebbles first. But yeah, I don't know. I just love the cozy aesthetics and the vibes for the bed and breakfast. I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to build another one. And immediately, I think I even mentioned in that video that I wanted to do a more cottagey one. This isn't quite cottagey. This is more of a grand estate. kind of, not like super grand, but you kind of maybe hopefully understand sort of what I mean. It's more English countryside sort of thing. I don't know what I'm calling this video yet. Probably English, um, probably English estate, bread and breakfast, something like that. We'll see. My husband, he came up with a name because like they have like estates and stuff, so they have, like the family name normally is like the name of the place, I guess. I don't know. I'm not English, so I don't know exactly how they came up with the names for these things. It'd be very interesting to find out, actually. But he decided that the name of the family they were called the Dinkles. So maybe we will call this the Dinkle Estate. a little nod to my husband. That's not originally what he called it. He called it something else, but it included another word that I'm not sure I can say on YouTube. So I'm not going to say it because your girl's not getting in trouble for saying something offensive. So if you can, it starts with the D. So it's Dinkle and then the D word. So if you can guess what that word is, you can know what that word is. But so it's a if you know sort of situation. All right, we're moving on. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of this because we have some garden beds. So I did come up with a bit of like this family, like what I think they were. I definitely think that the husband, I think we settled on his name was probably like Edward something, so Edward Dinkle. I think he was probably really into plants, and maybe he was like a professor or something. For botany, I believe it's called botany. It's the study of plants. So we are gonna have like a little conservatory, I believe it's called, on the side of the house. I believe it's this room. But we will get to that in part 2, most likely. Not most likely, I know we're going to get to it in part 2. Part 2, we're going to be doing the ground floor, and I believe that we may not be able to get to, I'm going to go ahead and predict we're probably not going to be able to get to doing the stables also, so I think I'm going to save the stables for part 3, when we do the upstairs as well. And then that's also going to be just like any final finishing touches or anything else that we are going to be doing. So yeah, we're planning out a little bit of the landscaping here. I know I do want to have some, I vaguely planned, but I didn't like plan 100%. So I think I do want to do some like fancy garden beds here, just one there, and then like one like vaguely here, like a little pleasure garden for them to like sit and just enjoy the sunshine and whatnot. And then there is also going to be some word please, garden beds here. My goodness, not really, but like overgrown, not so crisp and clean sort of goodness. You'll see what I mean when we get to it. But I think that's good. All right, I just want to do a vague planning for the landscaping so I don't forget. All right, next up we can start. Let's get to something interesting. Well, let's do the roofing, and then we can do like the wallpapers and stuff for that. All right, we're gonna start off with. Honestly, this is pretty self-explanatory, but we're gonna be doing the roofing. I'm looking at my reference picture. Looks like I did flaps in, so we can do flaps in. I still haven't even looked to see. That's not an actual term, but it's from me watching too much Devin Bumpkin. I don't know. Can you watch too much Devin Bumpkin? I don't think so. I don't think so. I love him. He's so funny. And I love his, henford-on-bagely is definitely my favorite world to build in, but I've been really enjoying his Let's Build the Worlds of Henford-on-bagely. I think he's almost getting close to being done with it, which is going to be kind of sad, but I'm also excited to see what else he is going to be working on in the future. So yeah, we're going to be doing, I think, flaps in. And I'm just going to go ahead and tuck all these in so I don't forget. Those look like they go out, but it's not. Oops. Or actually, no, that was somewhat intentional. It wasn't intentional, but now I'm saying it's going to be intentional because there needs to be I need one of these guys. Yes. Sorry guys, it's me looking at my reference picture, trying to form coherent sentences at the same time. All right, flaps in, flaps in. Lovely. I'm just gonna drag these guys across, just like that, and then I'm gonna copy and paste this one over here. And then once we have all the basic shapes out, then we can go in and we'll paint everything so it looks nice and pretty. But yeah, this is just the beginning for our build. We all got to start somewhere. I think this went in like this. I think we'll learn to see. Well, this has to go out more, so that'll help cover that up. These upper floors, they're decorative. They don't actually function. I'm not building like attic space or anything. I just had a shape in my brain that I wanted. I built the shape for the exterior, and then I had to get nice and creative with the floor plan inside. Definitely some of these bedrooms are quite large. Maybe I'll fiddle around with that and change that later when we get to it, but we'll get to it when we get to it. Just because, yeah. Excuse me, I had to yawn. I try not to yawn when I'm on camera, or at least I'll edit it out, because coughing and yawning and stuff, that it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, I am only human, but I know that it can be not pleasant sound for some people, so I make sure that I edit it out. I am sorry for my fellow sound sensitive peoples. Don't worry, I do edit it out, I promise. Okay, we have that, and then I believe it went like this. I have reference pictures, but sometimes I'm like, yes, that's the perfect reference picture, and then I look at it again and I'm like, huh? That made sense to me? Really? So, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay, I confused myself because this is not supposed to be enclosed. That's supposed to be open. That's why I got confused. So let's go ahead and do that. This is fencing. Because this is like a little carriage / carport, and if you do not know what that is, so back in the day when they had carriages and stuff, you would have like, there's going to be a big gate here. We're going to use the one from the vampire pack. That's why I use the vampire fencing. So the owner of the house would ride their carriage up, and then there's like a tunnel, so they would ride through here. And then it's like, so you can park the carriage inside there. So if it's like raining or snowing or whatever, they can go inside the house and not have to walk through all of that. And then they would pull right through. It's kind of squeezed, but we're pretending here. And then this is the stables for keeping the horses and stuff. But now I think they use a carport, and I'm going to be picking a car later to park here to make that more apparent. But yeah, in case you ever saw an old house and was like, why do they have that like weird garage there? That's why. I'm definitely building like old historical homes and stuff, and like cottages. I absolutely adore it. It's my jam. I love doing it. So especially right when I first started making videos, I built a bajillion different cottages and stuff. I took a tiny break from it just because I didn't want to be a one-trick pony. I felt like my channel was becoming almost oversaturated with cottages, and I got worried about that, but it's okay. I don't think it can be good, but it can also be not bad to be known for something, I guess. Not that I'm saying like I'm known for building cottages, but it's definitely my jam. I build a lot of cottages, but that is our roofing done. For here, you're probably wondering why that platform is there. We are going to be adding in, we're gonna add in, oh goodness, what's the word for it? Like a landing? Like it's like a front garden-ish bit. Not really, it's not even a garden. I don't know the word for it. It's this guy, we need this guy. I believe I used this color. But it's, oh goodness, I can't talk today. I don't know, it's, hold on, I'm gonna Google the word because otherwise it's gonna drive me insane. Okay, I don't know, it's kind of just like a patio. We'll call it a patio just because I genuinely don't know what else to call it, and that sounds more correct than whatever I said earlier. So we're gonna go with patio. I'm trying to pick a color that I think is going to look a little bit older looking. I do not want this one because we're using a different color for the stone. I'm looking, which color did I use? My goodness. Is it this one? That is literally the same color. Is that the color? Is it? It looks different in my picture. That's why I'm being weirded out right now. Or is it this one? All right, let me grab the fencing. Not the fencing, excuse me, the stairs, because we need a little steppy uppy for getting up here, and we're using this one. I am using the Jungle Adventure fencing. Oh my goodness, fencing stairs. Because I want the flooring and stuff to look very like worn down and whatnot, because this is like an older house. Okay, yes, I think that is the right color because it matches in better with that stair. Oh look, yeah, I said the right word. I'm just gonna drag this across like so, like that, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side to create a nice big fancy, I don't know, you guys, I don't know what this is called. If you know, understand what this is, it's just like an uncovered front for the house. Like I think patio is not correct, but like it doesn't feel correct. So if you know what I mean, like comment it below, because yeah, it's kind of annoying sometimes when you're like, the word's right there, like I know what the word is, but I also like don't apparently. Okay, I want to paint this a different color. It won't matter because we're gonna cover it with like landscaping and stuff, but I will know. So we're gonna try and pick something that I think will cover it fairly well, or at least make it less noticeable. That might work. Am I gonna be picky about this now? That literally is like no difference. All right, leave it alone, Lexi. Let it go. We're gonna do that color. It doesn't matter. It's gonna be covered landscaping anyways, so there's no point in me being fussy about it. Okay, now we're gonna do the wallpaper for the exterior. And I think we are definitely going to be using the Horse Ranch one. That's not it, it's here. And we're gonna be using 2 shades. Now we're gonna be using this one. Who does this one? Looking at my picture, trying to remember. I'm gonna go all the way up so you can look and see. We're gonna be using this color. And I believe we actually are gonna use this one, because I originally had the build all this one, the quite cobbled stone, but it looked a little flat to me. So I decided I wanted to add some extra contrast. That's the word. Yes, I wanted to add contrast with a lighter stone. If you download this build and you don't like it, you are of course very welcome to change it. I don't mind, you know, something I like may not be everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. All right, but we are not using that one. We're using this one on the front of the house. Why don't I do this and then I'll come back and we'll work on something else together, because I feel like this is gonna be a little bit boring and hard for me to be coherent when I'm trying to focus on doing this. So let me do this. All right, so I got all of the wallpapering done for the exterior. I also did the stables, and I forgot to put a roof on the stables, so I fixed that. So next, I think we're gonna continue on with fencing, because that's not our final fencing actually. I'm going to be going into the debug, and there is fencing from cottage living that I want to use. We're going to do that in just a second. We're going to do the roofing first, just so that I don't forget. And then I think we're going to do windows and doors. I'm trying to keep an eye on our time to make sure we're not going to... I'm trying to stick to around 30-ish minute videos. I feel like that's a sweet spot. It's long enough that it's entertaining, we can get stuff done, but not so long that it's like, oh my goodness, like what is the point of this? I don't know, something like that. Okay, for the roofing, I think I went for this shade that looks familiar. Lots of brown in this build. For the interior, in case you're wondering like what's the inside gonna look like, I'm definitely very old-fashioned. I looked at like old pictures of some English estates and whatnot, and I drew a lot of heavy inspiration from those. So I'm really excited. I did plan some of the interiors and stuff, so I have like reference pictures and whatnot for us to follow with. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm very excited. I did most planning on the ground floor. I did plan some for the bedrooms, but again, those bedrooms are going to be interesting for us to do because they are quite large. All right, I'm kind of thinking if I want to make this in glass because it is a conservatory. So let's investigate that, because I think that if we did this, maybe that would look very cool. But then we're gonna end up with that weird line there. All right, I don't think we're doing it. I just wanted to see. I kept looking at it and I was like, maybe that'd be cool, but I don't think I want to do it. So next we can do some gates and stuff, just so I don't forget, and that way we have our nice little pictures later with our nice gate. And we are going to be using this one. What? Why? Why not? You worked earlier. Oh, I forgot to do move objects. Hold on. All right, sorry guys. I forget to do the cheats sometimes before I start the videos, because how did we ever build without move objects, you guys? It's insane. Okie dokie. All right, we got that there. That is good. Now we can go into our cheats. Oh wait, there's another fencing over here. Hold on. Zoom, 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 zoom. Over here. We need that one for the cottage living. Where are you, my friend? Here you are. Just right here. All right, just so I don't forget. There we go. All right, zoom, zoom back. Okay. So anywhere where you see that wrought iron vampire fencing, that is not staying. We are going to be doing from the cottage living. Oh my goodness, you guys, I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm always tired, but yeah, we're tired, so it's harder for me to make sentences. Cottage living, and then we are going to scroll all the way down. Unfortunately, I'm on console, so I can't use the mod, because I know there's like a mod that helps organize these things. I unfortunately cannot access it, so wonk wonk. I would love if they would add, oh, excuse me, I had to yawn. I would love if they would make it so that we could use cheats and mods and stuff on console, but I'm not tech savvy enough to understand why they don't want us to do that, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, we're gonna be using these guys, and I am gonna be sizing them down. So I'm gonna see, I should be able to squeeze you in perfectly right there, because you worked earlier. So if you don't work this time, I'm gonna be a little upset. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to squidge you over to try and expose that angle just a little bit more, pretty please. A little bit, a little more. All right, that should work. I can either be the most particular person ever or not so much. It very much depends on my mood. Great, we're also gonna do the same here. This side I can move in with the wall a bit more to cover it up better, so like this, but for the other side it's more difficult. So we're gonna go like that, but I'm gonna move you in more. No, I don't like that. Okay, you need to go out over here more then. And I'll just move this guy in a little more, and you guys can just pretend that you don't see that gap. All right, we're gonna leave it like that. But yeah, I'm gonna be going around and doing the exact same thing. Just grabbing this, placing it here, and then I'm also obviously gonna be placing another corner there. I'm gonna place this mailbox here so it's out of the way. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, I'm trying to figure out my flow. Like, how do I want to organize these videos? Because I keep changing my mind on that. Of like what's entertaining for you guys, but still not too tedious for me to film in a way. Oh, thank God. I got nervous there for a second. I was like, I remember this fitting. Why does it not fit? But all right, I'm gonna switch you in a little bit though with the tool mod, a little bit, just a tiny little bit. How does that work? Yeah, that's fine. All right. Oh, I placed one of these. That's why I was like, I remember this being covered though. We'll go like that. Yes, yes. No? No, I want you in more, actually. Like that. Yes, perfect. What was I saying? Was I making words? I don't know. Sorry, I forgot my train of thought. Yeah, I'm trying to organize and plan like videos, or like how I want to film the videos, because I want them to be better and more entertaining and easier for you guys to watch. So it's less me just rattling on and on. I don't know, unless that is part of what people like. I mean, people watch videos to be entertained. Maybe my rambling is entertaining. I don't know, maybe. I think I meant for this wall to be entirely this stone, except for the interior. Let me look at my pictures. Yeah, this wall, it's stone all the way across. So I'll fix that in just a second. I'm glad I checked that. just because it's easier for us to see. I'm not going to put an end piece here because it butts up against that wall of our stables, and that's going to be annoying. So I'm going to try and get this as close as possible. All right, I'll play with that more later. I don't want to spend half the video trying to move that one single piece of wall. But yeah, I'm just going to place this all the way down and across as well to help fill in the walls. Luckily, these guys, they kind of layer over each other well enough, so it shouldn't be annoying to look at. But once this is done, we can do doors and windows, and then I'll see how much time we have left. That might be where we leave this video. We'll see. I realized that I forgot to give a gate to our little horse friends. We'll add them, of course, later on when we move a house in, but we don't need them in right now because that'll make it annoying for building. But I think that's the right shade. But I do think I want this facing the other way because that makes more sense for them to be able to open it that way. There we go. All right. I think that's the right shade. All right, we're gonna leave it for now. I don't want to be spending too much time on that. Okie dokie. So next we are going to get to meat and potatoes more. So not really, but like maybe understand what I mean. We're gonna be doing the wall, the doors, and the windows, and I think that is going to be the last thing that we work on in this video. So this might be a slightly shorter video, but the other ones are gonna be longer because it's gonna be us furnishing the house, and that can take a lot more time. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. All right, I am looking at my reference picture, and oh dear, we are using a lot of the stuff from the university pack. That's not the right door. I thought it was, but it's not. I guess we'll just start from the front and work our way back. I'm looking for this darn door. Oh, it's with medium height. I'm so smart. It's this one. All right, I need the off-white shade. So we're gonna place this right about here. Is that the right shade? That looks so bright. All right, I think that's the right shade. Okay. We're using a lot of the stuff from the university pack. For the actual like door, we are using the big, beautiful one from the university, if I can find it. All right, so for our front door, we're gonna be using this one from the Strangerville pack. I love it. It has like a very nice old antique-y vibe to it. That I think suits the aesthetic that I'm going for this house well. We could also use this one. Ooh, but I don't know. I don't like that door. All right, I'm sticking with what I have. Maybe another time we'll use that door, but that also would have been a nice option to have. But for the windows, we are going to go to medium height, and we're going to be using quite a few different windows here on this build. All right, so we're going to use this one. This is going to be a music room later on. And I believe I used this shade. Yes. So I like these windows because the stone matches the stone. I didn't know another way to say that. You get what I mean. Colors kind of all go together, and I like that. We like that when that happens. I'm gonna try and squidge these to as close to the edges as I can. It's gonna eat into that door. Why are you bouncing up like that though? I don't want you doing that. Oh, it's because the height's different on the interior. I am so smart. All right, I'm gonna have to pick a position here. All right, then I'm gonna try and bring it up, and that also helps to cover up some of the gap anyways, so we're gonna do that. But I want to try and cover up that stone as much as I can. Okay, and we're gonna be placing some ivy and stuff over this later on, so that doesn't matter. I'm leaving this wall blank because we're putting some paintings and a piano and stuff in here later. So that's that. And then I also I'm just going to go ahead and filter Discovery University. Yeah, pretty much all the windows are from Discovery University. I love these. These are awesome windows if you're doing a older building like this one. Older, grander building like this one at least. We are using that one, but I need the correct shade, if you will. Is that the correct shade? No, it's not. Oh, it's this window. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm sorry, my brain's dying. I didn't have coffee this morning because we're out of milk. It's very sad when I can't have coffee in the morning. So I drank tea. I'm drinking like green tea, but it's just not doing it for me. It's not having the same effects as the coffee. So I'm very sad, but it's okay. We're gonna get through it. I'm gonna go ahead and place these like that, and then we're placing two like this. It does bug a tiny bit, but I'm electing to try and ignore it. So I might try and squish this guy out a little bit more. Maybe we'll see. Maybe this will help with the bugging a little bit if I just make them a little less squished together. All right, that's still not perfectly aligned, but it does bug a little bit less. So we're gonna do that. Let me focus so I can get this perfectly aligned, hopefully. All right, that's as good as it's gonna get, but I think that's pretty good. And yeah, the bugging is much more minimal, so hopefully that will be less annoying for you guys. I'm glad I thought to do that. Okie dokie. Next up, we have more windows to place, and we are not using the university ones. We're actually going to be using, I believe it's from the For Rent pack, and it's these beautiful windows that I am absolutely in love with, if I'm correct. Is it these ones? Because they come in this fabulous green shade, which goes with the green accent on these windows perfectly, and I absolutely love that. Thank you, Sims people, for doing that. That doesn't look right. That's not the right height. Okay, that is the wrong height. I was like, excuse me, you filled up the entire wall. Hello? All right, let me switch to the green though, so that's less annoying. I don't have to go back later. It's so pretty. I love these windows. I would love when I move into a house, I want to have a conservatory or sunroom or something just to soak in the sun, because yeah, I'm like a cat, and I have a cat and she also would love it. I'm just a cold person. I just get really cold. So that would be really nice. And then the girl moved to Sweden and make that make sense. Okay, we have our beautiful green windows up. There's still a bit of a gap there. What did I do to cover that? Let me look. No, is that what I did? Did I pull this one out? Okay, I think I had flaps out on the conservatory actually, so I'm gonna pull the flaps out. Next, I like that, just to help cover up the gap a little bit. We are also gonna be using some columns, and the columns that I am thinking of using are I believe they are from the Business and Hobbies. Not that one, it's the other one. It is this guy, but not that shade. We're gonna change the shade in a second. I just wanted to get it out so I can copy and paste it more easily. We're using this darker shade. It kind of, we're gonna squint at it, you guys. That's when I say, when I'm like, this kind of works, but it kind of doesn't work. If you squint, it works. I don't know why I got in the habit of saying that, but I do say that sometimes. It kind of works, you know? Okay, especially here. Like, you can see with the light and stuff, the color kind of works. It's The Sims, you guys. Sometimes we got to get a little creative, and honestly, that's part. Is that the same color? Honestly, that's part of the fun. Of you have to get a little bit more creative in order to make things work. You know, because I cannot use CC because I play on console, and I don't know if I necessarily would want to build with a bunch of CC, because I feel like that can be annoying sometimes, because then it's like, okay, if I want to download this build now, I have to find all of this CC. That's very annoying, I feel like. So even if I were able to use CC, I don't think I'd want to build with a lot of CC. All right, we're going to use, for our little carport, we're going to use this wide brick archway from the Juggle Adventure Pack. All right, we took another yawn break and I drank more tea. So there we go. Hopefully I'll be a little bit less yawny and sleepy. For the stone, we are going to be using the matching Jungle Adventure one, and we're going to be using this in the carport and also on our little patio thingy. Is this the right shade? I think it is. I think that works, yeah. All right, let me zoom over here. Oh, well, copy on top of that. It's because I think all these stone colors, they work well enough together. I think they work quite well together. So I'm also going to be painting the inside of here as well. And I think that works pretty good. All right, we took a little breaky break from the windows and doors, but we're coming back to it. I'm sorry. I got distracted by the nakedness of that little carport. So we're back to it. We're focusing. What side do I want to do? We're going to do the side we're already on, of course, but I need my reference picture. Here we go. Okay, we got reference picture up. We are going back to doing G windows and doors, and yeah, I do think that is where we're going to end this video. So windows and doors, and then, I mean, that puts us pretty much on schedule, on the little schedule I have in my brain. Hello? there you are. Hello, my friend. All right, we need more windows and doors. So, sorry, I had like a little wiggle attack, so I needed to stim and get it out of my system. I don't know why. I still do definitely get anxious. I think it's anxiety when I'm filming, just because it's like, all right, I have to focus. Like, I need to focus on what I'm trying to do. I think it still is anxiety, but it's not so much the, oh my goodness, what am I doing sort of anxiety. It's more so like, okay, I want to do a good job. I want to try and, every video I want to try and do better than the last one. So it's, I guess, pressure? I don't know. I'm not really good. That is something that I'm working on in like therapy and stuff, is I'm trying to work on like understanding my brain and actually processing and understanding my feelings and why I feel certain ways and like what those feelings actually are. Because we've realized like I do not process like anxiety. Like I'll just be like, oh, why does my back hurt? Why does my shoulders hurt? Why do I feel like I'm about to have a heart attack? But I won't like completely understand that it's like anxiety. It's really weird. My brain just deletes the notification before I can actually process it, and that's not healthy. It's not healthy. You need to process your emotions, and that is the only way that I can learn to actually deal with and cope with my anxiety in a healthy way. So that is something we are trying to work on together. I didn't intentionally mean to share that, but I'm going to leave it in because there's nothing wrong with, I think, talking about mental health should not be a negative thing. And, maybe someone could hear me say that and be like, oh, snap, I think I have that same problem. So if that is helpful to somebody out there, then that is awesome. And I think that's important. Yeah, I did not mean for this to turn into a therapy talk, but there you go. It's okay. All right, so windows and doors. We're gonna do more windows and doors. I'm vaguely gonna place these. It more so depends on like furniture and stuff that I'm gonna be placing later, of course. But I do remember to kind of stagger these. Sometimes I'm better about taking my reference pictures than others, so these might change later. And then we also are going to be placing like a lot of ivy and wisteria on the back. I'm super excited because that is definitely going to help bring this build to life. So maybe I will do that off camera, and then in like the final zoom that I do for you guys at the end, you'll see that. But yeah, me trying to place items and focus and talk at the same time, so I'm not just sitting here in silence, is difficult to do. It's definitely something I need to work on. Yeah, especially if I want to do like live streams and stuff, it's definitely a skill that I need to work on more. And it's just also that I'm just tired. I can be more talkative in my videos. It's just more difficult when you're tired, you guys. So I need to go get some more milk. So I'll have to end this video, go get more milk, and then we will hopefully be more energetic in our next video. All right, I'm looking around. That looks good. I think that is actually all of the windows. There is a couple more doors, of course, that we need to place. Oh, and we also need to do the stables. I keep forgetting about our poor little stables. It's so forgotten and sad. All right, for the stables, we are going to, of course, use medium height. Yes. This one? I think it was this one. We'll change the color in just a second. But yeah, all right, I'm making sure this is kind of centered, and then we also are going to be needing windows so our horses can have some sunlight and stuff. You can have horses on here. I think for the video, I am going to add horses onto this land just because it's more fun and aesthetic. I like to have more movement and stuff in my videos. It helps it to look more interesting, but we're going to place these windows. I'm trying to figure out which windows I used. I think I used both the big ones and the smaller ones. So I'm going to place 2 smaller ones here. These might move later just because I tend to do that. I'll do work and stuff off camera in my videos. So if you ever see something you're like, hey, that's different. Like, why did that move? Or like, oh, this is different than it originally was. That's why. sometimes even after I finish a build, I have to like tell myself like, Lexi, leave it alone, because I will just keep working on build, working and working and working on it, and I won't want to stop. And yeah, I can be a bit of a perfectionist. It's something we're trying to work on. I don't think I want this window here actually. All right, I think that's good. So I think I'm gonna place two of these on either side, and then that's probably gonna be it for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was coherent. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you never miss out on any of my future videos. So in the next part, we are going to be starting to work on the inside. So we're gonna be furnishing the ground floor, hopefully. We'll get all of it done. We shall see how that goes. But take care, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.